Welcome back to another episode of Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. I'll do that, make it a little bit easier. There we go. I'm your host, Sir Chad Everett Broshears. And so, as to keep having this unfolding realization of an awareness that my communication would serve me well to be improved. And it's across the board. I mean, there's from noticing like, specific visuals and things, cues. Like over the weekend, I was with one of my best friends and his girlfriend, and as we passed by some trash that was on the sidewalk, I stopped, picked it up, took it over to the trash can, and threw it away. And I noticed I noticed just passively, both of them kind of give me a look like, or, what the hell are you doing? And I don't pick up trash wherever I go, and I don't clean up after myself and or others because I want recognition. I'm not interested in that. But what I was aware of when I noticed the recognition in this was that it was like almost, it's not detestable, kind of off-putting a little bit that I did such a thing. And again, it's because you don't see anybody doing this. People rarely go out of their way and, try to make the world a little better place. Nearly, most people are the ones that throw the trash down versus the one that actually stops to pick it up. Not virtue signaling or anything on this. It's awareness and communication value. Like how do I leave people? And this is one of my best friends. I mean, it's not the first time he's ever been around whenever I've done this. It's just, apparently it's been a particular amount of time since he's noticed it. So to improve on that communication piece a bit, which all it is the declaration, but I don't do it to make a statement. I don't do it to say anything. It's just he witnessed me do it. But it's just that fact. It's the fact that there was the reaction that there was. So anyway, this particular episode is about the path of maturity, or a maturity path, which it's all about understanding where you want to go, what kind of goals do you have in life, what do you yourself to experience in your life on the charts for you to get there. Because once you understand where you want to go, then it's a matter of facilitating the required skills to get there. Figuring out every place that you find that there's a blockage, you just simply figure out how to work through it or work around it. It's not really that challenging to understand necessarily, but it's not exactly that easy to accomplish. Because so few people are geared to constantly develop themselves. Now we have areas that we're developing ourselves, and that's perfectly great, but to really be after it at such a deep level. So in the previous episode, when I talked about maturity, or the path of maturity path, actually, when I spoke about it, it was about letting your partner know. If you want to have an incredibly powerful and potent relationship, you let your partner know what you want to experience in life and what are you up to get there, and then have them help, support in however they can. But that, you don't have to ask them for support. You have a genuine and desirable partner if they seek out a way of supporting you in your process, but also for you to find out what they want to accomplish and then to be supportive of that. And support can be in many, many, many different ways. It could just simply be, words of affirmation. It could be a supportive method for people on the path to get for maturity. Having somebody just cheers you on. So, but today's episode is more on developing myself, and I have one of my partners, his name's Francis. Her and I have an agreement that we will be developing ourselves, and we have a 90-day window to take on new things, what we want to develop ourselves in. For every 90 days, we do this. It's something that I've kind of discussed with my another partner of mine, Heather, about developing ourselves. It's like we want to see this in everyone. And there's an end goal in mind, and that is to live the most enriched and fruitful life. So the path of maturity requires that you understand where you want to go, and then what do you need to get there. So with this 90-day window, it's to take on singing lessons for 90 days. And if it's something that sticks, that I enjoy, then I'll continue on with that. And 90 days isn't really the biggest window for a lot of things, but it doesn't need to be like I've become a world-class vocalist. Simply after 90 days, I'm a bit more mature than to think that would be something that would come out of it. But to take that sense of joy and the sensation of you are making progress, going back and doing martial arts again. I'm already a blue belt in Aikido. I've got Goju Ryu Karate, multiple different discipline combinations for mixed martial arts, Jiu-Jitsu, and I've taken, there's another art that I took. It was very brief though. It wasn't one that really resonated for me. With that, it's, why develop yourself in that particular area? And in later episodes, I'll have a developmental core value type of sheet set up, or a worksheet or project, a method for you to be able to establish for yourself some homework. That'll come up in later videos. But with that, it's getting to the point of what you're actually working on and why. The martial arts for me is obviously for defensive reasons and something that I do enjoy doing, but it's to help me understand how much of a monster I can be, so I don't have to unleash that thing. I don't need to be pushed to a critical point where my sympathetic nervous system triggers the fight or flight, and I decide that it's time to fight, and not have the discipline and the skill sets necessary to calm myself. So the last thing I want to do is hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody on any plane of existence. I don't want to hurt anybody. Now, there are caveats to that individually may seem like that's not what I mean, but lessons come in many forms. But I don't intentionally go out to hurt people in any form. I don't want that. That to me is a chaos that I am not one that wants to be responsible for. I'd rather create more of a developmental space that we can all grow within. So the mixed martial arts, or just the martial arts and fighting systems, those are just to help with my awareness of how much of a monster that I can be. And then for that monster to not only be fully in scope, but also fully within restraint. Just, again, I don't want to hurt anyone. So that's that aspect. And obviously with the financial things, I've started with that already with the SBA, which we've got with that. There's a university here in Tampa that you can take courses that help you with your business. Well, that one I've already started, and it's exceeded 90 days. It's there to help me grow and mature myself in the business world, so I have better and deeper insights, so I have more functionality. So that's another aspect. And if you go through my earlier videos on this channel, specifically the maturity videos for the 8 different areas of maturity, it's a great starting point. I have other disciplines that have come out of this. The 90-day window disciplines, like disciplines like exercise, eating healthy, things like that. You give them 90 days, some of these things stick, and they stick wonderfully. When you see the change in your life. Physically, it's easier to see the change than some other areas, especially if you have no application for the areas that you're intending to change. At the moment, even though the lessons are available, say, if you get a mentor, go to classes, things like that, you may not be able to apply what you're learning at that moment, but you're building your future through it. And that's the thing that I really cherish about the maturity aspects, is that you don't always have to be in that space. So, all right. Now, finding those places is something that I absolutely hope that other people do. And take it on with me. This is something that it is building your future. I've taught this to my students, coworkers, employees, peers across. Just once I've found awareness to this, I've been teaching it, and this is stress is tuition for the future you want to create. And what you do with that, how you spend it, is completely up to you. When I take on stress or I feel stressed, I realize that I'm molding myself into something else. That's the tuition. I'm paying it into my future. And I encourage you to do the same. It's a way of viewing something so that it changes. That's a big part of it. Developing yourself in every area, to me, is never time wasted. It's always something that is incredibly beneficial for us. So I hope that you join me on that journey. Do comment in the comment section. Share this video with people that you know that can benefit from it. If you want to start a conversation with somebody, these are great ways of sharing that to start a conversation. Again, I don't come from that I'm right 100%. There's so many other things in this entire existence that can put my viewpoints and perspectives into a position of challenge that says this is new to me. And that's that aha, where you realize, hey, there's more than what I've experienced at this point. So join me in the process. Help me see more of the shadowed areas that I'm living, within. So, all right. Until next time, I'm Sir Chad Everett Brochures. This is Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. And I look forward to the next conversation, and I hope that you're there to join me. Create that life that you really want to find fulfilled and enriched. And it's not always easy, but it's worth it. So stick with me. I'll see you soon. Here's to the future.